Welcome back, guys, and now let's find out the marginal utility for a common and typical CES utility function, which is our utility function, which is a function of x and y is equal to ax to the power of rho plus by to the power of rho whole to the power of 1 over rho. So now find out the marginal utility of x and the marginal utility of y. As we have the formula, the marginal utility of x is equal to the partial derivative of utility with respect to x. Then it's equal to 1 over rho multiplied by ax to the power of rho plus by to the power of rho whole to the power of 1 over rho minus 1. Then we need to take the derivative of the inside of this function, which is equal to rho multiplied by ax to the power of rho minus 1 to the power of rho minus 1. We are taking the derivative of the inside function. So now this rho will cancel out with this rho, and we are only left with ax to the power of rho plus by to the power of rho whole to the power of, we have rho here, rho 1 minus rho multiplied by ax to the power of rho minus 1. So this is the marginal utility of x, the marginal utility of x. So now we found the marginal utility of x here. Again, same as Cobb-Douglas utility function, the marginal utility of x here is again as a function of x and y. So it means how much unit of x and y we already have. It means the marginal utility in case of CS utility function is not fixed, but depends on how much of x and y in our consumption we have. So now let's move on to find out the marginal utility of y this time. So let me clean this part. Then the marginal utility of y is equal to, this time, the partial derivative of utility with respect to y, and is equal to 1 over rho multiplied by ax to the power of rho plus by to the power of rho whole to the power of 1 over rho minus 1 multiplied by, this time we are going to take the derivative of inside with respect to y, which is b multiplied to rho y to the power of rho minus 1. Again, this rho with this rho will cancel out. We will have the marginal utility of y is equal to ax to the power of rho plus by to the power of rho whole to the power of 1 minus rho divided by rho multiplied by by to the power of rho minus 1. So this is the marginal utility of y in this general and typical CES utility function. Again, the marginal utility of y, same as the marginal utility of x, depends on how much x and y already we have in our consumption bundle. So let's move on to a numerical example for the CES utility function in the next. See you guys.